Hello, sir. My name is Shitiz Srivastava, and my first question to you will be: tell me about your life from the beginning. How you entered into film line, or you think of becoming a cinematographer?
Before being a cinematographer, I remember as a child, my father had a photo studio where I used to be very engrossed and very interested in what he was doing. And as a small kid, I don't know what years they were, but as a very, very young kid, I used to go, I remember, I used to go to his dark room to see him processing black and white prints. And I used to get very fascinated with this magic of images coming onto a blank white piece of paper. Since then, I've always been, that was what kept me interested and fascinated with photography. So it started with cinematography. So it started with still photography and...
So you had that small cameras.
Yeah, that time we had small cameras. We had, the first camera that my dad gave to me was when I was probably in class 4 or 5. He gave me a small box camera to shoot my friends' pictures in. So I remember sending one of my friends onto a one-story houses roof. So he was standing there, and I took a picture from that. That's one picture that was one of the first pictures I'd taken of anyone then. So I finished the whole role. There were 12 exposures. I finished the whole role and taking pictures of that one guy. So that's how it started. I think that was my first step towards still photography. And then later on, as things progressed, I matured into better cameras. Then I started doing research on cameras.
This was before FTI?
Much. No, I was in school then.
Achha, you were in school?
Yeah, when I was in school, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all these years. I was very engrossed in stills. And my father had those twin lens reflex cameras, Rolleicords and Rolleiflexes, Yashica 65, all these things I remember. And then I started getting interested in 35mm cameras, and I did a lot of research on 35mm cameras and figured out that Asahi Pentax would be a good camera to have. So I told my dad that we should get this Asahi Pentax 40mm was called camera. That time we didn't use 35 film format film in studios, in still studios, photo studios. And so my dad said okay, and luckily some Tibetan, I think, somehow he came with a lama. Some Tibetan lama came and he had a Asahi Pentax 40mm with him, and I said yeah, this is what we needed. And I don't remember the cost, but probably it was 2,000 rupees or
at that time.
At that time. And my dad was not a rich man, so he didn't have 100 notes. So he took out a lot of 1 rupee notes, 5 rupee notes, and it became like a big pile of money. So I said, wow, that's a lot of money. So
that was the first big camera.
Yeah, that was the first big camera, and there was one mound of money that I saw, which I thought was, did I make a mistake? But no, I didn't make a mistake finally, because soon our whole studio and the whole of that town started using 35mm cameras, which weren't there. And it was very easy for sports photography, activities, school activities, taking pictures of people. So it was very useful with 35mm cameras. But in photo studio, we were still doing 120 cameras, the twin lens reflex cameras. So all these, and I did a lot of experiments on processing. I started reading a lot of books on still photography. Yeah, still. That time it was only still photography, and it was black and white still photography. And
where did you spend your childhood?
In Kalimpong. Yeah, my hometown is Kalimpong, where my father had a photo studio.
So you had film society?
Sorry?
Film society or something like that?
That time there was nothing there. Now I don't know. No, I don't think there's any film society even now.
So you are self-motivated?
Yeah, there was nothing there. In fact, there was no photography. Nobody could teach me photography then, because nobody knew anything about still photography. All that I had learned was from what I studied from books. And slowly I realized that this is not enough, because I have to learn something more than what the books are teaching. But I didn't have anybody to talk to about photography. I was a lone person. My dad's photography was commercial photography. You take passport pictures, or take marriage pictures, or take activities or schools. Sometimes if it's interested, I'll take a picture of Kanchenjunga mountain, but nothing to do with photography as a passion. For him, it was a business. But for me, photography was a passion. I used to take pictures of dewdrops, of dogs, of various other landscapes, cobwebs, all sorts of things. A guy digging his nose, and I remember one picture. I remember a picture of a dog which is dead, but the crows were all eating it. So I took also good and horrid pictures, all sorts of things. And I did a lot of chemical tests,
Exposure.
yeah, using various chemicals for processing the black and white. After I read this book called British Journal of Photography, and there was one book, I don't know where it came from I just started reading that. So that is the way I got interested in photography. Then after that, I realized that I would do something more than that. I have to venture out and see what the open or the outside world does in photography. Because for me, in a small town, there was nothing for me to see. Then one day, one gentleman by the name of Munna Bhai he came and said, "There's a Film Institute of India in Pune. Why don't you go and see what that is all about?" And that was the first institute whose name I knew, but kuch nahi malum tha mujhe. So I went there and I studied about it. I asked for the prospectus, and it said that you need to have a qualification of first year intermediate. And that's class 12, I think.
Class 12.
Yeah. So I was in class 11 maybe. So I don't know. After that I joined college. I was not interested in college at all. So I just did 1 year of college. I managed to pass. I got that first year certificate, class 12 certificate. What was then a class 12 certificate, first year PSC of a 3-year degree course. So I was quite confident that I'll get, I don't know why. So I joined the Film Institute, and the Film Institute mein, of course, usse pehle was this entrance exam in Calcutta that I had to give. Calcutta, my school friends who had passed out, they were there, so I joined them, stayed in the house and did the interview. I passed that interview. Then I was, sorry, not the entrance exam. I passed the entrance exam, and after that I was called for an interview in Pune. I gave the interview, and everyone seemed to be very happy with the way I was answering. I was answering something much more than what they expected me to know. In fact, the cinematography professor that time was asking me, how do you know all this? I said, I studied in books. So he was trying to catch me in some thing which he thought maybe I'll go wrong, but I did not. I corrected him. No, it's not the way it was actually like this. Something what's called as a Savate effect. And so he was quite fast. And the dean then also was very, very interested in my stills that I had shown. He said, "Can I take one of the pictures?" I taken a picture of a rose. So he said, "Can I keep this picture with me?" I said, "Of course, please keep it with me." Finally, मेरा तो अभी admission पक्का हो गया. So that was my first step in motion picture photography, joining the institute. Then there was 3 years of total engrossing study that I had to do.
In FTI?
Yeah, it was. Then first year was still photography. Second year onwards was motion picture photography. Then I realized that my still photography काम तो खत्म हो गया ना. 1 साल में खत्म कर लिया. Now 2 years I did motion picture photography, and I started getting interested in motion picture photography. So yeah, I thought that now after passing out from the institute, I realized that now I was sort of overqualified to go back to my father's photo studio and do marriage picture and
Passport
picture and girls coming to beautiful pictures in the studio and all. So then after that I struggled here in Bombay for a long time. I assisted some people like Ram and Sagar, and then AKB and Binod Pradhan. That lasted for about 1.5-2 years. After that, I decided not to assist anyone because I wanted to do independent work. But then after that, nobody gave me independent work, but I was thinking that I'll only do independent work. For almost a year, I didn't do anything. I was out of work. TV was not there, and it was a little difficult to get into any sort of a movie profession then. You know, it was all dictated by the old people who had learned hands-on, and they didn't have the same sort of viewpoint of things as somebody who had passed out from an institute. You know. In fact, when I was assisting Prem Sagar, the lighting assistant, then was there. It was nice to me actually, but sometimes I used to say, "You're from the institute. You learned this. You know that much also." So I got a little pissed off with that, and so I didn't actively involve myself in the film that I was working with that time. So after that, yeah, then AKB was there. With AKB, I was doing focusing and zooming cameras and all operation colors.
For a year and two.
For one film, actually not even for one film, for less than a film. It was called Gharanda.
Gharanda.
Yeah, Gharanda. So after that, I joined Barun Mobile as the chief assistant doing the lighting and for his commercials. He was doing commercials and so that's it. And after that, I stopped assisting. After that, almost 2 years, and after that, for a year or so, I wasn't getting much work. Then there's this cooperative called YouSpeak Cooperative Film Cooperative, which I joined, and we formed that team. Made 2-3 films over there in which I shot. I was part of the camera team. And
Short films or full feature?
Full feature film. I shot a feature film called Kashmir in Marathi. Yeah. Which didn't get any, which didn't see the light of day in the sense it didn't get released, couldn't get released, nobody took the film. And we had taken some money from some banks. So there was a little problem in that, we couldn't pay back the money. Finally, I heard recently that it was been written off. Some 1 lakh odd money, some stuff I said. So then slowly I started doing documentary films, corporate documentary films from Durga Productions. They called me. So that was a good place to actually Durga Production has got a big hand in me still being in Bombay. Otherwise, I didn't have any work and I would have just left the place and gone back. Probably to Kalimpong and started involving myself in the still probably then. But thanks to the Durga Production, I could earn my bread and butter a lot of times.
After that?
After that, well, I got married, had children,
and you start getting work?
Yeah, slowly, of course, yeah. I started see the friends that I had in the institute. They started getting work, the directors, and because they started getting work, I started getting work. So there were people like Janu Barwa, who's I shot to Asmi's film with him. Then came Kundan Shah. No, before
that
Kundan
was
Shah,
a very big turning point, I guess.
Yeah. But before Kundan Shah was another film feature film that I did called Partner. Yeah, and then after that was Jani Bedo Yaro with Kundan Shah. So I don't think there was any one turning point. It was, they all giving me
giving me a turn.
Yeah, a whole work. Because I did this, I got that.
Connecting the dots. They were connecting the dots. They were connecting the dots.
Yeah. And finally, I think the industry recognized me as a sort of a good cameraman in this film called Parinda. Where people really like my work. Not that I got much work after that, but they like my work. They appreciate my work, and even now they say that it's one of the better short films in Indian films. So that went on and on, and then I did more commercials, earned a lot of money in commercials. So I could buy cameras, I invested in cameras, and then after that,
this is your journey so far.
Yeah.
So, is there any cameraman that you have an idol for?
Yeah, see, when I at the institute, when I saw this Bengali film called by Satyajit called Pather Panjali, I got shocked by the visual quality of that film. It was so natural, and every time I'm looking at Hindi films, they've always got this light from here, harsh light, and the girl is looking pretty and everyone looking pretty. And then I saw everything was looking pretty and artificial. Then I saw this Pather Panjali, which was, my God, what is this? It looks like this shot of people who were just behaving normally. Even the acting was normal and the lighting was normal.
Raw. Very raw.
Yeah, very raw. So that I was very impressed with them. That was one of the first films in. One of the first films that I really got impressed with. Patrick Manchali by and it was shot by Subodh Mitra. Then of course, as time progressed, then I saw other cameramen. Then I was quite affected by Gordon Mully's shot Godfather. Godfather had a very good impact on me. And then Storaro was good.
So, who's your favorite cameraman, cinematographer
Of the present day?
of the present day or past, and the whole?
Yeah, like Gordon Mully, Swin Request, Vittorio Storaro, Subodh Mitra. Yeah, I really idol worship these guys.
Okay. So, about lighting, how do you plan lighting on your sets?
When I go to light set, most of the time I'm a little vague in the sense I'm always tending to key how should I do it. I always think about the kya karna chahiye, and depending on the type of film and how it should look, then I try and put those things together and try and work around it. A film like see, in the beginning, for me, getting a proper exposure and lighting up normally was me, my energy would go, in the sense my knowledge would go. But every time I'm trying to get correct again exposure and all. So for a long time I was bothered about exposure, which actually held me back at that time. If I underexpose, they taught me not to underexpose. So if I underexpose, it didn't look bad. So ये सब काफी सारा मैंने काफी सारा film ले लिया film का time and all. I'm just getting the right exposure and trying to get a decent look. It was only later on as I got more and more practice, हाथ सफाई हो गया, that type of thing in terms of lighting, that I started understanding and looking more at mood and all. Though I knew what moods कि हाँ वो film में ऐसे किया था, but when I shot myself, I couldn't apply that. And then they used to say, अरे artist का face तो देखना ही चाहिए, shadowy होना नहीं चाहिए. So in Parinda, Parinda was one of the few films where I tried to stay away from that in a large part. And some objection came from some theatre in some place in the north, some small theatre. कि कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है. I said it can't be कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है because everywhere is dark. If there's a little bit of light, then you will be able to see something over there. कुछ नहीं दिख रहा तो हो ही नहीं सकता है. Probably the projection was so bad over there that my sort of the type of film that I did couldn't work on me. I don't understand how. I think projector guys पीछे they must be having a Mombati or something, candle. It can't be, huh? Anyway, so we have a lot of these problems here in India. Everyone thinks that everything should be seen. Even now I have discussions with directors when I do films. And then ये सब दिखेगा क्या नहीं दिखेगा. And it's not even dark. I'm making a normal thing, normal daylight thing, and they say ये बहुत dark तो नहीं हुआ. So यहाँ का the whole culture is of making brightly lit films.
Sir, what do you think about this digital cinema coming in? I mean, when was the first time you were handled digital camera to just go and shoot this, and you were transforming from real to digital? Was there any problem in transformation?
I didn't use digital for a long time until I was very satisfied with the results that I was getting. उससे पहले, of course, there was a lot of I've shot a lot of TV commercials and all shot on digital, right from Umatic to that's some TV serials also on Umatic. That's a very old format which is not very good. Then I've shot a lot on Umatic, high band, Vidacam, and all these things. But I shot only commercials and TV serials. Now for feature films I could never. वो तो कभी यूज भी नहीं करते थे पहले, because there are a lot of problems. And even now, even till later, there was other cameras which had come meant to be 4K raw or whatever जो भी बोलते हैं.
5K 6K.
Yeah. When I did the test, I didn't like most of them, so I didn't use them until until the Alexa came.
Alexa.
Yeah. And I did some tests with the Alexa, and I was very impressed with what quality it could give. They say it's only HD, but try HD. But I mean, HD doesn't mean much. This resolution thing actually is not too much of a resolution. का मतलब ये नहीं कि जितना ज़्यादा resolution होगा
तो बहुत अच्छे result है.
Like I said, Alexa we shot in HD and it's very good. It's in fact it's much better than what some of the 4K used to give at that time. Yeah, but now camera qualities have improved a lot, and every camera is like.
So you have shot on Alexa?
Yeah, I've shot.
Any film?
I shot some portions of Mausam.
Mausam on Alexa.
On Alexa.
And you were quite satisfied with the results.
Yeah. In fact, see, more than half the film I shot in film, and then after that I shot in Alexa. You can't make out the difference. कि हाँ रे ये अच्छा नहीं है Alexa में shoot किया ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
So in the future you are shooting any film on Alexa or digital?
Yeah, I'm shooting nowadays. I shoot only digital nowadays. Alexa or Epic.
Okay, Epic. Epic is fine camera.
Yeah, it's a good camera.
So I have also read somewhere that you have started a film. You are going to direct a film on Buddha House.
नहीं.
So in the future you are going to direct a film?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It takes a lot of energy to walk out of that door and start directing the film. So I'm not very sure about that.
So right now there's no future. Chale, thank you sir. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.